Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS and Ascension. So, when we last left off, we have just discovered that we're going to have to make a trip back to Amkethran in order to procure some rope that we need to progress further in Abazigal's lair. But first, as usual, let's do some level ups. And Jaheira managed to reach level 18 in Druid, which is a little significant, but for a reason not shown here, and we're going to discuss it in a second. But when it comes to her high level ability, I think Jaheira has recently become a little jealous of Sarevok and his proficiency at bringing instant death to opponents, and for that reason we're going to spare 1 point onto Death Blow, so that she too can get a taste of such powers. And of course, this is a suboptimal pickup, but we already basically have everything we need on Jaheira, and she is going to have an opportunity to put this Death Blow to some pretty good use soon, so let's allow Jaheira to have some fun with it too. And now, while level 18 was significant, was because now Jaheira has acquired an innate 10 resistance to fire, cold, electricity, and acid. And this technically opens up the possibility of replacing her 50 fire resistance ring with a 40 fire resistance one, which of course would still leave her immune to fire, and then we could use the 50 fire resistance ring probably on Sarevok, and likely replace his Helm of Brilliance with either Helm of the Rock or the Dragon Helm, and that would allow Sarevok to have 95 fire resistance and some other resistances coming from gear too. But I think we're going to leave things as they are now, because Jaheira is going to be able to heal a little bit from fire damage with this gear setup, and of course she is our wielder of the Club of Detonation, so any fireball that it unleashes, or of course any fire damage that she suffers from enemies, she is going to be able to heal for 10% of that damage, and with this gear setup Sarevok is immune to fire, which is nice, and he is not going to need any additional resistances coming from gear in our upcoming encounters. We are going to make one switch when it comes to equipment though, but it's going to occur in the glove spot. So Jaheira has had some fun with the gauntlets of extraordinary specialization, but now we are going to give them to Anomen, and that is of course going to drop Jaheira's attacks down to 4.5, but is going to give Anomen 4 attacks up from 3.5. And basically, this is largely because of the fact that I think we're still not going to use improved haste here, and we're just going to use the normal haste, with which, of course, if Jaheira had a baseline 5 attacks, she would receive no benefit, and Anomen would only get 4 attacks with this haste active. But with this switch, they are both going to be able to reach 5 attacks when that haste is active. Now we're going to also give some of these lower level spells to Jaheira, and I think I'm even going to give her another Dispel Magic here, seeing that she is increasing her spellcaster level with those druid level ups, and as you can see I have already changed our spells in between episodes, and Jaheira here is going to be the person responsible for our protection from lightning. That is going to come in handy a little bit later. And now, of course, we have this level up on Sarevok to do as well, level 30 already, and he is going to get a proficiency point out of it, and we're not going to continue leveling up crossbows, but rather, I think I'm going to give it, or put it into quarterstaff, so that once we finally upgrade our Staff of the Ram, we might give it to Sarevok at some point, then activate greater whirlwind attacks, and watch him go crazy with that. And I think, speaking of which, we're going to give him some more greater whirlwinds. And now, before we go anywhere, we're going to make a short stop at our pocket plane in order to upgrade some items and do something else unusual. But first we're going to get these 2 items upgraded. We already have the ingredients prepared, and we should be good on gold, because I think both of these upgrades only cost 5,000 each, so we are still fine.
Suspinor gladly serve the Great One. Ooh! Ooh! Ugh. What is bad smell? You've been killing dragons?
Yeah, some more dragon scales for Sespinar to occupy himself with. Yeah, 5,000 gold for this one. And this is going to create an armor that would have been nice to have much earlier in the game, but we're going to discuss it once we have both of our new items in our possession.
Suspinor. Ooh! Hindo's Doom! Can you say it? Hindo's Doom!
Sespinar sure had some fun with that one. And yeah, we're going to be able to upgrade Hindo's Doom as well. And we're doing it now because we are going to have some use for these items pretty soon. And yeah, now let's re-equip ourselves here and talk about our new goodies. So Hindo's Doom is upgraded to a +4 enchantment now, and it does receive some cool stuff, like this 10% magic resistance, and also this immunity to all forms of death magic, as it says, but it not only protects against death magic, but also against petrification, for example. And this is just an amazing weapon to have when encountering beholders, because now finally we're going to have a tool that is going to make us immune to their death rays and their flesh to stone rays that is undispellable, because it's coming, you know, from equipment. So a little late, but we are going to use it for a little bit. Now, it also can cast Greater Restoration instead of just the normal Restoration, which can now cure some status effects and also fully heal the target, but it still leaves the caster fatigued, so it's not that amazing. And of course, when it comes to this weapon's main hand potential, it's not that great, because it's just +4 enchantment and doesn't provide anything else in terms of on-hit effects or additional damage or anything like that. We're still going to, of course, hold on to it and have some use for it. And now when it comes to these Yellow Dragon Scale or this Yellow Dragon Scale armor, it's actually pretty unique in a couple of ways. First off, it's a leather armor, actually, and with that in mind, its armor class is actually very good, and also this makes it usable by almost any class. Thieves can use it, druids can use it, beastmasters as well, so this makes it pretty good for that fact alone, but also it provides us with a 50% resistance to piercing and missile attacks, and we're not going to have that much use for that type of effect with the content we have left in the game. It would have been really, really nice to have some thing like that available in Shadows of Amn. We would have like plenty of good opportunities to use it then, or even at the beginning of Throne of Bhaal. But anyway, I think we are going to have like one fight at least that we're going to use it in. And also, now, since we are in the pocket plane, we are going to do something with a bit of a more long-term focus. Well, partially long-term and partially for something that we want to showcase pretty soon. So we are going to use our spirit here to summon two of our old companions to primarily take some of their stuff. And we're going to be able to say hi, show them around our pocket plane, and give them an opportunity to hang out with Jan, of course, which is a treat, I'm sure. And at the same time, we're going to give Jan and Sespinar some more company, so they don't feel so lonely here when we're not around. But anyway, first off, we're going to actually belay that order, and we're just going to drop some stuff here on Saravog, because normally when we dismiss him for just a moment, this would of course land in Senashira's equipment and just kind of be a mess on the ground. And I think the Ring of Gax is also transferred in such an event. Alright, now we're ready. So now let's summon Herr-Delise.
Oh, back on the plains, is it? Swept off the prime and whisked away like a soaring eagle into new adventure. Glad I am to see you, my raven.
You seem pleased to be here. And why should I not be? Time is an inconstant mistress, good friend, and all disagreements are washed away along with her into oblivion. This bard looks forward to your tale like none other. We haven't, of course, had Herr-Delise much in our party, so we haven't really listened to his talks about entropy and oblivion and all that. But anyway, we are going to join him, or make him join us. It is a marvelous life, Senashira. Do not convince yourself otherwise. Well, now we're going to remove Saravog.
So what is it to be then? Am I to be replaced by some quivering, fawning lackey? Bah! Shall I wait here for you or not?
Yeah, wait here, Saravog, for just a moment. We basically summoned Herr-Delise just to get this blade of his, the Chaos Blade, that drains dexterity, and we're going to have a use for that soon. Oh, also Roranak's helm, of course, gets transferred because it's a crafting component. And we could sell some of his stuff and maybe take these potions, but it's really not a big deal. So thank you, Herr-Delise. Nice to have you here. And now we're going to allow you to just explore this pocket plane and have some fun, I guess, chatting with Jan.
You wish a change of pace, my friend. Is the sparrow to leave the stage for a while?
Yep, get out of here. If that is your wish, my raven, then let it be so. Herr-Delise shall stand guard until you call upon him once again. Yeah, he's not so upset about having to leave our party. And now, finally, we're also going to summon Valigar. I'm sure he's going to be pleased with that. That kind of outcome.
Well, quite a few things that I could have named off as being possible to happen before the end of the day. Meeting you again wouldn't have been one of them. Where are we?
It's a long story, Valigar. Oh, of that I have no doubt. I always get dragged into events full of strange magic, whether I like it or not. Well, it's good to see you again, regardless of the circumstances. Good to see you too, Senashira. I must admit, I've thought about you since we last met. I would like to travel with you again. Alright? You are going to enjoy what's going to happen for a moment, then. And here we are going to get his Corthala family armor. And we are going to have some use for it as well. Let's leave it at that for now. We're going to explore that whole possibility a little bit later. And yeah, we can just basically leave him as he is. So, hi Valigar. Nice to see you again. But we have stuff to do with Saravok in our party.
I'm not averse to being on my own for a while, if that's what you want. Your decision.
Just wait here then, dude. Alright, hope to see you later. Well, don't count on it. Okay, now Saravok.
What do you wish?
Do you require my sword again? It is ready to kill at your command. Oh yes, such a prospect does make me giddy, Saravok. Let's just quickly fix your script first. And now re-equip yourself. And yeah, you can keep your Roranax helm as well. Alright, now we are ready. We are going to elaborate on these choices. And when it comes to the equipment, we have just gotten a little bit later when their time comes. Now we can finally go back to Amkethran and finalize some of our dealings there. Well, this is not going to be our last visit in Amkethran, but we are already going to do a couple of things here. So first we're just going to do a selling session with Chill, and just to save a little bit of time on camera, I am going to prepare it a little bit and engage it in it, I guess off camera, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, here we are about to sell vast quantities of stuff that Senashira had in her bag of holding for a grand total of almost 200,000 gold, which of course is going to make us not have to worry about our finances ever again. We also have some potions prepared to sell on her, and we're going to get rid of some scrolls, some puny scrolls that we have managed to acquire over the course of our adventures, that are just clogging the space in Senashira's scroll case. We're also going to sell some of these weak strength potions that Jaheira kept in her potion case. We're never going to use those. And finally we have Saravog's bag of holding, which mostly contains things we intend to recharge, like these rods of resurrection, for example. And just as a reminder, one of them is considered stolen, so we're not going to be able to sell all three of them to Chill, or to anyone else for that matter, because in Throne of Bhaal there are no fences, but at least we're going to be able to recharge two of them. Yeah, Chill has no chill, and he's not going to take that stolen one. We also have the greenstone amulet prepared for recharging. It still has 7 charges left, but just to be on the safe side, we are going to sell and rebuy it with 50 charges. We're of course never going to come even close to depleting that kind of amount, but it's just a nice thing to have. Whenever someone gets dispelled in a fight, we can quickly put up a variety of protections on them through the greenstone amulet. And we also have our rod of reversal prepared to recharge, and 4 wands of spell striking. 2 of them already had all of their breach charges depleted, and the other 2 had 2 breach charges left, so we're going to sell all of them. And also some stuff like this we're going to sell for real, and for some reason we also had such puny potions of healing in our possession. We're going to get rid of them as well. And yeah, now we're just going to buy our stuff back and be ready to go. Alright, so in Amkethran we have a couple of things to take care of in the inn. Primarily we want to obtain that rope, of course, and we need to talk to Zaki about it, and he's going to have a good laugh about it. Yeah, actually I was wondering if you had a coil of rope that I could buy. Rope? I don't know who you are, stranger, but I can tell that you're an adventurer, and I can tell by the way the soldiers look at you that you're some force to be reckoned with. Your equipment is probably worth more than this village, and what do you want to buy? A coil of rope. Perhaps the gods do have a sense of humor. Here is your rope, my good woman. There is no charge. I'll be dining out on this story for weeks. Alright, so here is our rope that we needed, and we're going to rest. We're going to treat ourselves to this noble room. recharge our spells and all that. And before we kind of proceed, I would like to present some of the rumors that this mercenary woman can share with us. She has a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I heard an army tore through Shamadar a month ago to reach a powerful wizard's tower. He was a ball spawn and the city was razed just to destroy him. They said you could see the battle for miles. As far as I know, there is no such place called Shamadar in the Forgotten Realms lore, but still, this is a kind of a cool story of a whole city getting destroyed just to get to a ball spawn, and that sounds kind of familiar to what we've been through. But anyway, please give me some more, dear woman. I heard Athkatla was sacked within the last month by the Sith-Elysians, and then the Great Ogre himself was revealed as a ball spawn and killed by some fire giant. Incredible story, I think. And this is once again a reference to the Soth-Elysian War, although I did stumble upon some sources that refer to the Ogre Mage as Sith-Illus. But anyway, of course, as a reminder, this war is yet to happen in the timeline, because we are in the year 1369, and it starts on 1370 and goes on up until 1374. And Soth-Illus survives that war. He is not dead in the Forgotten Realms lore, but here I think this was a cool twist to have him be a ball spawn in Baldur's Gate 2, and also making a reference likely to Yaga-Shura, who killed him. So yeah, very cool story. And we need something else. This dust mote of a village hardly deserves to exist. I don't understand why this Balthazar would want to launch some crusade against evil from here, but there you are. So yeah, crusade against evil, some kind of an interesting notion. The king and queen of Tether are gathering their own forces in Myratma. Posted a big bounty on some woman who destroyed a town in the east. There's bound to be war all over Tether soon, it seems. And of course this is a reference to us and the destruction of Saradush, and the misinformation that points to us as the cause of such destruction. And I think she has more. Yeah, complementing the monk's fighting abilities, but I think there's also one more about Sendai. Let me just quickly try a couple more times. Oh, this one was the correct one. Balthazar found us in Ryatavin. He pays well, but I'm told we're going to be fighting in the Underdark against some drow named Sendai. I don't know if any pays enough for that. Yeah, that's old news. We've already taken care of that, so you don't need to worry. But anyway, we also have some unfinished business with our old friend Hexat, which of course, if you remember, in Shadows of An we have disintegrated her, so we need to restore the timeline and have it make sense again. But in order to bring some variety, we're not going to use disintegration again, but something else. And here we basically had two options, either Power Word Kill, because she still has very little HP, or Imprisonment, whom I guess people like Galvaray would argue that it would be a more humane option. But I decided upon Power Word Kill, and we actually have two Power Words Kill, or two Power Word Kills, I guess, memorized on Sinashira. We're going to have another opportunity to use it after Hexad, but let's talk to her first.
Hello. It is good to see you again.
And that conversation is going to be very brief, because if we respond with this one, would that I could say the same, she is going to display her sassy attitude and attempt to leave.
Have no worries. You'll not see me long.
Yeah, but before we let you leave, I think we're just going to grant you final rest through this Power Word Kill. And that's actually a pretty good outcome for Hexat. Well, we can take some of her stuff, I guess. And yeah, now we are ready to go back to Abazigal's lair, but we are going to have another welcoming party waiting for us, and this is such a great thing from a role-playing perspective as well, because, of course, knowing that his lair was attacked, Abazigal wasted no time here to call in for some reinforcements, and as you will see, before we are able to step through that entrance deeper into Abazigal's lair, we are going to be greeted by a force, let me tell you. But here we are going to have to apply long-lasting pre-buffs and all that, especially since we are going to have to use Imoen's projected image to apply some of these protection from acid. So I am going to, once again, cut the recording here and be right back with all of our buffs already applied. Alright, there we go. We have used Potions of Invulnerability and cast Remove Fear, Chaotic Commands, Stone Skins, and Iron Skins. Our Divine Casters have their Armors of Faith and Shields of the Archons. Our Mages have Mirror Images. Senashira has Spell Shield, and Animen already cast his personal buffs. When it comes to our Elemental protections, we cast Protection from Fire on Senashira, Kirinai, and Imoen, and also Protection from Acid on Senashira, Jaheira, Kirinai, and Imoen, whereas Animen and Saravok received Protection from Energy, which is going to grant them 75 acid resistance. Animen is going to max that out with his Armor of Faith, and Saravok is going to have the Helm of the Rock equipped for now, but he is going to later switch to the Helm of Brilliance once he doesn't need the acid resistance anymore. We also have Protection from Magic Energy active on Senashira and Imoen, and I think these last few steps that we have left are just going to include dispensing some regenerations, one onto Animen and the other onto Saravok. We're also going to set up a spell sequencer on Senashira consisting of 2 secret words and 1 spell thrust, and in a moment we're going to haste ourselves, and once that haste is applied, Senashira is going to cast Globe of Invulnerability. We're going to get that second regeneration going, and after these casts are done, we're just going to get ourselves some spell immunities to Abjuration on Senashira and Imoen. Kirinai is not going to get hers because we only have 4 scrolls of spell immunity left, and I would like to have at least 3 of them saved up for the final encounter. And I think the 4th one we are going to use later on in Abazigal's Lair. So what we're going to do on Kirinai is just keep her at a distance and out of trouble using her thrown daggers, and just in case some remove magic does affect her successfully, she is going to have some backups, like this Scroll of Protection from Acid that she is going to be able to cast on herself, and she also has some potions of fire resistance. So I think with these precautions she should be safe, and once these casts are finished we are going to be able to approach and see what awaits us at the entrance to Abazigal's Lair this time. So we are going to be greeted by 2 dragons. Allinissimus here says, "None shall enter the sanctum of great Abazigal." And Zirimanat'ryl follows up with, "Vengeance will be served on the slayer of Lord Draconis." So they already know of our deeds. And in order to keep the flow of battle going, I'm not going to analyze their stats in a super in-depth manner. They're going to be presented on the screen, of course, but we've seen a lot of dragons recently, and since these guys are not the only enemies we're going to have to overcome, I'm just going to summarize what's most important about them. They both have identical stats. They are both black dragons, which means their breath is acidic. That's why we have protected it against acid so diligently. They also start out with 4 attacks per round, but also haste themselves early on, so they're going to effectively strike us with 5 attacks per round each. And finally, since they are dragons, we're of course going to have a lot of HP to burn through. And we're going to activate right off the bat Hardiness on Saravok and on Jaheira. We're also going to cast the Dragon's Breath on Imoen. This should affect them both and just deal some nice damage. And I think we're just going to go in deep with Senashira and Animen already, and see what happens next. Oh yeah, we need to gain some distance on Kirinai. Yeah, they do haste themselves immediately. Now we can start attacking. And there was a bit of lag, and there might be some more still, because of how huge dragons are, sometimes their pathfinding generates a bit of lag whenever they want to get to someone. So we'll see if that's going to happen. Alright, I think we had 1 fireball from our Club of Detonation proc already. Our Dragon's Breath is unleashed. We are going to get smacked around by some of these wing buffets, but we are not going to be knocked unconscious now that we have chaotic commands active on ourselves. And seems like Sir Animen is the object of their attacks, but with his regeneration he should be able to heal himself up nicely. At least out-heal a lot of their damage, so that we only need to use some healing potions and not charges from our Rod of Resurrection. Alright, we have dealt some damage from that Dragon's Breath, and now let's just see what's going to happen. Jaheira, we need your damage. Alright, there is a remove magic going onto Jaheira. Let's try to get it out of there. And it seems like her own protections were dispelled, so we are going to have to reapply the Armor of Faith. Losing Iron Skins is a little bit unfortunate, but of course her spells are still only level 18, so that's something that we're just going to have to deal with. And yeah, let's keep fighting. And now Jaheira might be an object of their interest. Let's just kind of keep healing on her. And there's Magic Missile directed on Imoen, which is not going to do anything because she has that protection from magical energy active. Alright, there was a minor sequencer with double Melf's Acid Arrow. That's not going to do anything. So we just kind of keep going. And keep healing. Alright, Zirimanat'ryl just died, which is going to make our fight here much easier now. Alright, let's kind of spread out again. And let's get Sinashira behind, maybe. Also, let me just check if Animan lost his haste or not. Alright, still 5 attacks per round, very nice. Alright, Saravok now is being attacked. We also had another Melf's Acid Arrow, and that's irrelevant. And yeah, we should be soon done with All-Inissimus as well. Yeah, these regenerations are doing a lot of work in this encounter, especially if they kind of keep switching their targets and giving our regeneration some time to just out-heal the damage completely. Alright, now that All-Inissimus died, this is of course not the end. We're going to move on to phase 2 of the encounter, and we're going to switch the Helm of Brilliance and the Helm of the Rock here, so that Animan can get the 25 poison resistance that he needs. Yeah, let's just see who is going to approach us now. Alright, here's a green dragon, Ithy'nassendra, and normally in previous versions of SCS there was a bit of a cutscene here, more elaborate cutscene, and whether it's because of a bug or intentional removal, I think it's for the best that we don't see this cutscene, because the conversation we would have with Ithy'nassendra is pretty bad. But there are no changes when it comes to gameplay, so the encounter is going to proceed as it is supposed to. And now Ithy'nassendra is a green dragon, so she has 700 HP, has poisonous breath, and also she has a contingency with heal, and she can cast heal manually. So basically we're looking at potentially 3 health pools that we're going to have to burn through. And when it comes to that poison breath, we do have the Ring of Anti-Venom on Sinashira. Jaheira is innately immune to poison. Animan is going to have 25 poison resistance from his helmet and 25 from his Armor of Faith. Kiranai has her Thieves' Hood, that makes her immune to poison, and Saravok has the Ring of Gax. So the only person that we really need to keep at a distance here is Imoen. We are going to kind of keep her safely out of this dragon's vision, and we just have to immediately go through it. It is protected with some stuff. I think it starts out with Stone Skin and protection from magic energy here. So we're going to see how this goes. I think if she has Stone Skins, we are going to be able to cut through it pretty quickly anyway. This initial one. And yeah, let's get going here. Alright, so she cast Summon Insects onto Kiranai. This is not going to do much, just cut through her Stone Skins, unfortunately. But of course, Kiranai is not going to be casting any spells, and should be fine otherwise. Alright, she is uninjured because that contingency with heal just triggered, so here we're going with health pool number 2. I think we're also going to have to consider reapplying some of our buffs, because this is such a long encounter. She is not the last opponent, by the way. We are going to have to keep in mind that our buffs are just going to expire in this encounter likely, so I think we are going to have to reapply Animan's Armor of Faith and also spell immunity to abjuration on Sinashira, just to make extremely sure that she does not get dispelled at any time. Let's kind of keep going, and once she is injured a little bit, we're going to allow her the chance to cast that heal, and then we're going to probably apply some of our own spells. And there's a spell sequencer with Stone Skin, Haste, and Spell Deflection. Alright, we're going to use Saravok's Rod of Reversal for that. We are likely going to breach that Stone Skin. And now let's see what happens. Still just barely injured. We can heal a little bit on Kiranai. And maybe have Imoen quickly breach Ithy'nassendra and get the hell out of there. Not to get damaged by that poison breath. Now she is injured, so I think we might attack her for a little bit more before giving her the chance to cast that heal. Alright, that's that green dragon breath approaching. And it just didn't do any damage to where it was directed, I guess. Yeah, this looks a little suspicious, but yeah, we wouldn't be able to get damage. Only Animen would potentially receive some damage because, of course, he only has 50% resistance. But anyway, now that she is badly injured, let's just stop attacking. Reapply Animen's Armor of Faith. We might even reapply Jaheira's one, and we are going to cast Spell Immunity to Abjuration on Sinashira once again, just so that she has that active for the remainder of the encounter. Alright, and we're going to see what happens next. Alright, now she casts that heal successfully. We have reapplied our own stuff, so let's just get back to it. And DPS through her last health pool. Alright, now Jaheira lost her hardiness. It expired, and it is immediately noticeable that it's not there when it comes to the damage she is now receiving. So actually, let's reapply that as well on her. And we are going to heal her, I think, with Saravok. Just going to keep it safe and use a charge of our Rod of Resurrection to heal her to full. Animen can just drink a potion, and we should be good for the rest of this encounter. So we are going to get Animen out of there for a moment, because I would like to apply his Aura of Flaming Death before the next phase occurs, I guess, to give him full fire protection. Alright, we are doing pretty well. Now Ithy'nassendra is dead, and the last phase of the encounter is going to commence. Alright, Animen has his Aura of Flaming Death applied, and now Carnifex, the red dragon, is going to address us. You are the ball spawn. No other could have done this, but godchild or no, you will not withstand my assault. I don't know if you noticed, but there are 4 dead dragons here, including Draconis. What makes you think you'll be any different? But you are tired and wounded, and I am fresh to the fight. And it matters not in any case, for I feel Abazigal's wrath, or fear Abazigal's wrath more than death itself. Enough talk. Burn in the fires of my rage. Alright, so now we're going to have a red dragon to defeat. Now Aemon is going to be able to stay closer and attack as well. Here's Carnifex. Now we can also heal a little bit with Animen. Now Carnifex, of course, as a red dragon, he's going to be pretty similar to Saladrex or to Fearcrag. He's going to have 732 HP, his fire breath that we are well protected against, and yeah, nothing else left to do but just go in. Spread out a little bit here and just start attacking. We'll see what he's going to have to offer. Alright, he does have a spell trigger with improved haste, immunity to abjuration, and spell deflection. So we are already going to use our spell sequencer on him just to remove his spell protections for later. Whenever he feels like applying some stone skins or protection from magical weapons, we are going to be able to remove them immediately. Alright, Animen is healed. Let's get him closer here. Let's get to work. Right, he does have contingency with stone skin, so we might as well offer him a very quick breach to get rid of it immediately. Alright, Jaheira is the object of his attacks, and Saravok was not attacking. Alright, Red Dragon Breath does nothing to us. Our protection against fire is immaculate. Alright, whoa. Saravok is receiving some damage. I think Saravok is going to heal himself. Or actually, better yet, well, do I want to apply his hardiness here? Carnifex is the last dragon, so once he dies, we are going to be safe. So perhaps, well, the choice is between activating hardiness on Saravok and healing him with Animen on Jaheira, or actually Animen, because I think Jaheira drank a potion not too long ago, or just healing himself with his own Rod of Resurrection and not activating hardiness. I think we are going to activate hardiness just to be sure here, just to be safe, and we're going to heal him with Animen, and that should work out fine for our dear Saravok. Alright, there is a spell sequencer with Remove Magic, Stone Skin, and Spell Deflection. So let's try to kind of run out of range of it. Senashira and even Imoen still have their spell immunities to Abjuration. That's nice. Kirnai should be far enough. And Jaheira wants to really try to... well, her Armor of Faith, I guess, was dispelled already. We don't need to run out. She is just going to reapply her Armor of Faith. I wanted to avoid this remove magic just so that her Armor of Faith would not be dispelled, because of course her buffs are the lowest level, but it's done already. And now I think we are going to, cast maybe this, well, this Ruby Ray of Reversal from Imoen, and probably we're going to breach his Stone Skins right after. Wow, Jaheira is just in grave danger. Yeah, let's just heal with her and kind of keep her at a bit of a distance. Alright, we're still not doing physical damage to him, so I think we are going to use another breach charge here. Yeah. Now we're going to be able to deal proper damage to him. Right, he immediately switches to Jaheira whenever she comes closer, but I think we should be fine. He is near death. And boom! There we go. What a nice welcoming kind of committee here that greeted us. And this is such a great idea by SCS to send us back to Amkethran and then present this great encounter at the entrance here. It's also very good from a role-playing standpoint that Abazigal, knowing that he was attacked previously, of course called in some reinforcements and then, you know, offered us a force here guarding the entrance to his lair. But of course they fall beneath our might. Our haste just expired, which is pretty nice. It lasted for as long as it needed to, and now we can go back inside to Abazigal's lair. But we are going to do some further exploration in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one and our fights with all of the dragons, and I'm going to see you next time.